My ex showed up at my wedding. Then my groom did the unthinkable on the mic. I was standing at the altar, heart racing, not from nerves, but from pure shock. Out of nowhere, my ex walked in, dressed like a guest, smirking like he owned the room. My heart dropped. I thought it was over. But then, my groom looked at me, took a deep breath, and walked up to the mic. What he said next? It silenced the entire room and left my ex completely speechless. Ladies and gentlemen, lay down and relax. Also, don't forget to subscribe my channel for more interesting videos. The morning of my wedding was everything I had ever dreamed of. Rose petals in the air, soft music humming through the venue, and a dress that made me feel like a queen. I had fought for this day, through heartbreak, therapy, and tears no one ever saw. And just as I was about to walk down the aisle, my maid of honor leaned in, her face pale. "Don't freak out," she whispered, "but he's here." I blinked. Who's here? She didn't have to answer, because when I reached the altar, there he was. Liam, my ex, the man who left me broken 3 years ago after an engagement that ended in betrayal and silence. The man who swore he was never the marrying type. And now, here he was, standing in the second row, watching me marry someone else. I felt the world tilt. My heart raced for all the wrong reasons. I tried to focus on the groom, on Ethan, my safe place, the man who taught me how to love again. But I could feel Liam's gaze burning into me. His presence wasn't just shocking, it felt deliberate. And then, he stood up. The ceremony hadn't even begun. People turned. My mother gasped. Ethan glanced over, confused. "Sorry," Liam said, loud and casual. "Just wanted to congratulate the bride. She always did know how to upgrade." There was a murmur through the crowd. My breath caught. My father looked ready to punch him. I was frozen. But Ethan? He didn't move. He just looked at me. And then, he walked over to the mic. Ethan's footsteps echoed as he walked slowly to the mic, calm and collected. But I could see his jaw tighten. I held my breath. Everyone did. Even Liam shifted slightly in his seat, clearly expecting a dramatic confrontation, maybe even a fight. Ethan tapped the mic gently. His eyes didn't leave mine. "This wasn't how today was supposed to go," he began, voice steady, full of something I couldn't yet name. "But since we're doing surprises, I think it's time the truth comes out." The air thickened. People leaned in. My hands trembled. Ethan turned to Liam. "You think showing up here, uninvited, throwing your weight around somehow makes you look strong? You're just proving exactly why she left." Gasps rippled through the room. My heart pounded in my ears. Ethan wasn't angry. He was clear, sharp, and terrifyingly calm. "She cried over you for months," he continued. "You ghosted her, played mind games, made her feel small, and yet somehow she found the courage to trust someone again, to love again. That someone was me." Ethan looked back at me, his eyes softening. "She didn't just choose me, Liam. I chose her, all of her, even the pieces you broke." Tears welled in my eyes. "And if you thought you could show up here and shake her, guess what? You just reminded every person in this room why she's so much better off without you." There was a beat of silence. Then, applause. Not polite, not forced, genuine. A slow ripple that spread like wildfire. My aunt stood. My bridesmaids clapped. Even the officiant gave a quiet nod of approval. Liam didn't speak. His smirk was gone. He stood, adjusting his jacket, but now it was out of discomfort, not power. He left without another word. And just like that, the ghost of my past walked out of the room he should have never entered. Ethan turned back to me, reached out his hand, and said, "Shall we continue?" I nodded, still shaking, still in awe. But little did I know, the real surprise was still coming. The ceremony resumed, but everything felt different now, stronger, more real. I stood facing Ethan, my heart still pounding, not from nerves, not from fear, but from a strange, overwhelming mix of love, disbelief, and admiration. The man I was marrying didn't just protect me, he honored me, publicly, fiercely. The officiant asked if we were ready to exchange vows, and Ethan smiled, but then held up a hand. "One more thing," he said, stepping back to the mic. My stomach fluttered. I wasn't sure what he was about to do, but I trusted him more than anyone. "I wasn't planning to say this part out loud," he said, turning to the guests, "but after today, I think she deserves the world to hear it." He reached into his suit pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. He unfolded it slowly, glanced at me, then began to read. "To the woman who thought she wasn't enough, you were always more than enough. Before me, before the heartbreak, before the silence, you were already everything. To the woman who thought she wasn't enough, you were always more than enough. Before me, before the heartbreak, before the silence, you were already everything. You laugh like sunlight. You love like it's your purpose. And somehow, after being broken, you still chose to believe in love again. With me. So today, I vow not just to be your husband. I vow to be your safe place. The one who never walks away. The one who knows your worth, especially when you forget it. And I vow to never let anyone make you feel small again, not even for a second." I couldn't hold back the tears, neither could half the people in the room. He turned to me, took both my hands, and whispered, "It's always been you." The rest of the ceremony passed in a blur of vows, tears, and trembling smiles. When we were finally pronounced husband and wife, the applause felt like thunder. It echoed with love, truth, and something powerful, freedom. And as Ethan kissed me under the arch of flowers, I realized something. Liam didn't ruin my day. He revealed it. Because that mic, that moment, that man, he didn't just make a statement, he made a promise. And this time, I believed every word. The reception glowed with soft lights, laughter, and a warmth that wrapped around every guest like a blanket. For the first time all day, I finally breathed. The weight of Liam's surprise appearance had lifted, and what remained was something far more powerful: peace. As we danced our first dance as husband and wife, Ethan held me close, his hand pressed gently against the small of my back. "You okay?" he whispered. "I am now," I said, smiling through the tears still drying on my cheeks. "How did you even stay that calm?" He leaned down, lips brushing my ear. "Because I saw the look on your face when he walked in, and I promised myself he would never have that power again." I squeezed his hand tighter. I knew he meant every word, but just as I thought the drama was over, one last surprise was waiting. Ethan's best man, Daniel, stepped up to give his toast, but instead of a speech, he pulled out a small gift box and handed it to Ethan. Ethan raised a brow, then looked at me. "This wasn't planned," he said softly, "but maybe it was meant to happen today." He opened the box and took out a single key, silver, delicate, engraved with one word: home. "This," Ethan said, holding it up for the room to see, "was supposed to be part of her wedding gift, but after today, I think it means even more." He turned to me. "It's the key to our new place, a home I bought months ago, the one you said was out of reach. But I made it happen, quietly, because I wanted to surprise you with something that couldn't be taken away. A space that's ours, a future built with no ghosts, no past, just us." My heart cracked wide open, and this time, it wasn't from pain. The guests erupted into cheers, laughter, and tears. Not because of the key, not because of the house, but because in a single day, love had stood its ground and won. Later that night, we slow danced under string lights and stars, the world finally quiet around us. No drama, no echoes from the past, just the sound of his heartbeat beneath my ear. He didn't just marry me today, he rescued me. Not with a sword, not with a mic, but with a vow, and the courage to keep it. People still talk about our wedding. Some call it dramatic, some call it iconic. But everyone remembers the love, That unforgettable silence before Ethan spoke, the way he shielded me without raising his voice, and how he didn't fight my past. He simply replaced it with better memories. 6 months into marriage, our new home smells like coffee and fresh paint. The walls have echoes of spontaneous dance moves, late-night takeout, and quiet mornings in pajamas. The key Ethan gave me sits on my keychain next to the one from my old apartment, because I keep it there as a reminder of how far I've come. One night I asked him, "Were you scared when Liam stood up?" He looked at me for a moment, thoughtful. "No," he said. "I was scared you'd forget who you were. I just needed to remind you." And just like that, I knew why I married him. Some stories begin with chaos, some with silence. Ours began with a mic, a vow, and a man who saw me, even when I couldn't see myself. The true beginning wasn't the wedding. It was the moment I chose a love that chose me back. True love doesn't just celebrate you, it protects you, stands up for you, and reminds you of your worth when others try to tear you down. The past may show up uninvited, but it has no power when you're finally with someone who chooses you, loudly, proudly, and without hesitation. And sometimes, the most powerful moments aren't loud or dramatic. They're the quiet choices made out of love. The decision to walk away from toxicity, the courage to believe in yourself again, the strength to let someone in, even when you've been broken before.